Ladies and gentlemen, life's a wild ride. There's no map, no clear path, just a journey of twists and turns that we can never fully predict. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the uncertainty, but here's the thing, embrace it. The uncertainty is where the magic happens. It's in the unknown that we discover what we're truly capable of. Sometimes it's okay not to have everything figured out. It's okay to be a little lost, because it's in that space we start to find our way and we find ourselves. If there's one thing I've learned along the way, it's this: perspective is everything. When life seems tough, when the road ahead feels impossible, sometimes all it takes is changing how we see things. It's like stepping back and realizing that the picture is bigger than the moment. What seems like a setback could be the very thing pushing you forward. So when you're caught in a storm, remember that there's always a way to shift your perspective and find a new angle, a new solution. And then there's the most powerful thing I know: trust yourself. It's easy to doubt, especially when you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, but deep down you already know what's right for you. That voice in your head, that gut feeling, it's there for a reason. Trust it. Trust yourself enough to make the decision. Even when the path isn't clear, you've got the answers within you. But let's be honest, life isn't all smooth sailing. There will be moments, many of them, where you'll face struggle, where things won't make sense, and it's easy to want to run from it. But here's the secret: embrace the struggle. Every hardship, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. It's not about avoiding the hard times, it's about recognizing that those times are shaping you. They're teaching you something you couldn't learn anywhere else. In the middle of all that chaos, one thing remains constant: the present moment. Life is happening right now. We can spend so much time looking ahead or thinking about what we've missed, but the truth is, everything that matters is happening right in front of you. So slow down, breathe, let go of the distractions, live this moment fully. It's the only one you've got. Kindness is something we often overlook, but it's one of the greatest strengths we have. Kindness to others, kindness to ourselves. There's something about offering kindness that creates a ripple effect, a quiet power that spreads far beyond what we can see. Don't underestimate it. The smallest act of kindness, a word, a gesture, can change someone's world. And I want to remind you, it's not the destination, it's the journey. We spend so much of our lives chasing something, waiting for the next big achievement, the next big moment. But when you look back, you realize it wasn't that single moment that mattered most. It was everything that happened along the way. The moments, the people, the growth, the struggle, the laughter. That's where life happens. So here's what I want you to take with you today. Sometimes the answers you're looking for are found in silence. In the quiet moments when you stop, breathe, and listen. Slow down, take a step back, reflect, and trust that life has a way of guiding you, even when you can't see it right away. Sometimes life will leave you speechless. But in those moments, listen. There's a message waiting for you. Thank you. Life as we know it is a journey filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. It's often said that the only constant is change, and I think that's the truth we all experience in one way or another. When we're young, we think we have all the time in the world to figure things out. As we grow, we realize that the world doesn't stop spinning just because we don't have it all figured out. The future seems uncertain, and the road ahead is filled with unknowns. But you know what? That uncertainty is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. The unknown is not a threat, it's a canvas waiting for us to paint our own path. So often we let fear of what we don't know keep us from moving forward. We stay stuck in the comfort of the familiar even when it doesn't serve us, because the idea of change, the idea of stepping into the unknown can feel overwhelming. But here's a secret: it's in that very uncertainty that the magic of life happens. Think about the moments that truly shaped you, the ones that pushed you to grow, to become something you didn't even know you were capable of. Chances are, those moments were filled with uncertainty. It's when we step into the unknown that we discover new strengths, new possibilities, new aspects of ourselves. When we let go of the illusion of control, We make room for life to surprise us, for life to unfold in ways we never could have predicted. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. And that's okay. Life isn't a straight line. And the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can start living more freely. We don't need to have all the answers right now. Sometimes it's enough to just keep moving forward, trusting that what's meant for us will reveal itself along the way. So instead of shying away from the uncertainty, why not lean into it? The unknown is where growth happens, where adventure begins, and where you start to discover the parts of yourself you've yet to meet. When you embrace the uncertainty of life, you're not just accepting the unknown, you're welcoming it. You're opening yourself to the idea that life is not something to be figured out, but something to be experienced, and who knows what beautiful things lie ahead just beyond the horizon. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us. Sometimes it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. The struggles we face can be overwhelming, and in those moments it's easy to feel like we're trapped, stuck in a place we can't escape. But what if I told you that the key to finding your way out isn't necessarily in changing your circumstances, but in changing the way you see them? What if instead of focusing on the obstacle itself, you shifted your focus to how you approach it? Our perception of any given situation is one of the most powerful tools we have. Think about it, two people can face the same challenge, but their experience of that challenge can be completely different, depending on how they choose to view it. The difference is all in the lens through which they see the world. When we see only the obstacles, when we focus solely on the struggle, that's when we feel defeated. But when we change the lens and look at the same challenge as an opportunity for growth, as a lesson to be learned, we begin to shift the narrative. Suddenly the challenge becomes a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It's like putting on a different pair of glasses. When you see the world through a lens of possibility, everything changes. It's the same world, the same challenges, but you start to see them as chances to grow, to evolve, to become stronger. Every setback becomes a setup for a greater comeback. Every moment of frustration becomes an invitation to find a new path forward. And it's not always easy to shift that perspective. It requires us to step back, breathe, and take a moment to see the bigger picture. When we're caught in the middle of a storm, it's hard to imagine that the sky will ever clear. But what if you could zoom out and look at your life as a whole? What if you could see that this storm is just one small chapter in a much larger story? You've been through hard times before, and you've come out stronger. This moment too will pass. When you change the lens through which you view life, you begin to see that everything has purpose, even the painful moments. Life isn't just about chasing pleasure or avoiding discomfort. It's about the whole journey, the lessons, the growth, the evolution. The way you choose to view each moment, whether as a lesson or a burden, determines how you'll experience it. And the beauty is you get to choose. You have the power to decide how you want to see the world. And once you realize that, your perspective becomes the key to unlocking your potential. So next time you're faced with a challenge, before you let frustration or doubt take over, pause for a moment. Take a breath and ask yourself, how can I see this differently? Because the world is full of possibilities waiting to be discovered, and it all starts with how you choose to look at it. There's something incredibly powerful within each and every one of us, something that often goes unnoticed or ignored. It's that quiet voice, that gut feeling, the instinctive knowing that whispers to us when we're faced with a decision. It's easy to overlook it, especially when the world is so loud with opinions, advice, and expectations. But deep down, we all have this inner wisdom, this sense of knowing that, if we learn to trust it, can guide us through even the most uncertain times. We spend so much of our lives looking for answers from the outside, seeking validation, asking for direction, waiting for someone else to tell us what to do. And while there's nothing wrong with seeking advice or learning from others, we must remember that the answers we need are often already within us. The truth is, you've lived your entire life up until this point with every experience, every lesson, and every instinct that's shaped who you are. You've already made it this far. Your inner wisdom is the very thing that's carried you to this point. But sometimes it's easy to doubt ourselves. We second guess our decisions, question our abilities, or let fear take the wheel. And when we do that, we allow ourselves to be swayed by the noise, to let external circumstances dictate what we think is possible for us. The key, though, is to remember that the answers you seek are not out there in the world, they are within you. You know yourself better than anyone else does. You understand your values, your strengths, and even your weaknesses better than any expert ever could. It's time to start trusting that. Trusting yourself isn't always easy. It requires you to step into the unknown and take risks. But that's where the magic lies. When you trust yourself, you give yourself the freedom to make decisions that align with your true purpose, not just what others expect of you. It's about moving forward with confidence, even when the path ahead isn't completely clear. The truth is, no one can walk your path for you. You are the only one who can make the choices that shape your journey. Sometimes trusting yourself means being brave enough to say no when the world wants you to say yes. Sometimes it means listening to that quiet voice that's telling you to take a different path, even when everyone around you is going in the opposite direction. It means having faith in your own ability to handle whatever comes your way. The world might not always make sense, but when you trust yourself, you can face anything with the confidence that you have what it takes. When you learn to trust yourself, something remarkable happens. You stop looking outside for answers. You stop searching for approval, for permission, for someone else to tell you it's okay. You realize that the power to create your own destiny has always been within you, and with that realization, everything starts to shift. Decisions become clearer, actions become bolder. You move through life with a sense of inner strength that can't be shaken. You've already made it through so much. Don't forget that. You've come this far because you've made countless decisions, faced countless challenges, and learned so much along the way. Trust that everything you need to navigate the rest of the journey is already within you. So let go of the doubt. Trust your instincts. Believe in your ability to make the right choices for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are the one who knows best. There's a misconception in the world that life should be smooth, that things should just flow effortlessly if we're doing everything right. We often imagine that success comes from a place of ease and comfort, that if we just follow the right steps, the path will be clear. But let's be honest, that's not how life works. The truth is, growth doesn't happen in the absence of struggle. In fact, it's often through the most difficult moments that we experience the most profound transformation. Think about the times in your life when you faced adversity. Maybe it was a setback in your career, a personal loss, or an obstacle that seemed insurmountable. It's easy to look back at those moments and wish they had never happened, to wish that things had gone differently. But here's something important to consider. Those very struggles shaped you. They built you, refined you, and showed you strength you didn't even know you had. It was in those moments of hardship that you learned who you truly are. You see, growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It doesn't come from avoiding the tough stuff. True growth comes from stepping into the unknown, facing the challenge head-on, and pushing through the discomfort. Every time you overcome an obstacle, every time you rise from a fall, you grow a little more. You become more resilient, more resourceful, more capable of handling whatever comes next. It's easy to see a hardship as a roadblock, but what if it's actually the gateway to the next level of your potential? We often think of hardship as something to avoid or run from, but what if we shifted our perspective? What if instead of seeing struggle as an enemy, we saw it as a teacher? Hardship has a way of breaking us open, stripping away the things we don't need, and revealing the parts of ourselves that are strongest, the parts that are most authentic. It's in the struggle that we learn how to dig deep, how to tap into resources we didn't know existed, and how to rise higher than we ever thought possible. The most powerful transformations in life often come from the hardest times. Think about a seed. When it's planted in the soil, it doesn't just grow because it's surrounded by warm sunlight. It has to push through the dirt, through the resistance to reach the surface. And when it does, it breaks through stronger, more capable of reaching even greater heights. The same is true for you. The obstacles you face are not there to defeat you, they're there to help you grow, to strengthen you, to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. This doesn't mean that hardship is easy or that we should seek out struggle for the sake of it. Know it's okay to feel the weight, to acknowledge the pain, and to give yourself space to process. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it define you. Instead, let it fuel you. Let it be the fire that pushes you forward, knowing that every challenge you face is an opportunity to evolve into something greater. When you face hardships head on, you become unstoppable. It's through the struggle that you learn perseverance, that you develop the resilience to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. And when you look back on those times, you won't just see the pain. You'll see the pain, you'll see how much you've grown. You'll see the strength you discovered within yourself. You'll see the power you gain to take on whatever comes next. So the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't shy away from it, don't run from it, embrace it. Embrace the struggle for what it truly is, a stepping stone, a necessary part of your growth. It may not be easy, but the rewards on the other side are worth every step. Because the truth is, it's through the hardest moments that we often find our greatest strength. And when you emerge from the struggle, you'll see just how far you've come. You'll realize that everything you've been through has been part of the journey that's making you the person you were always meant to be. We often spend so much of our time looking ahead, planning for the future, or reflecting on the past, that we forget the most important moment of all, the one happening right now. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, to think that success, happiness, or fulfillment lies somewhere in the distance, just out of reach. We set goals, chase dreams, and live in a constant state of one day. When we have this, or when we achieve that, life will be exactly what we want it to be. But the truth is, we're missing out on the most precious thing we have, the present moment. The present is where life is unfolding right in front of us. It's easy to overlook it because we're so busy planning, worrying, or wishing for something else. We think that when we finally reach a certain milestone or check off our to-do list, then we'll be able to relax, enjoy life, and be at peace. But here's the thing, if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, if you keep putting off truly living until everything aligns, you'll find that life has already passed you by. The perfect moment is not coming someday, it's right now. Think about it. How many times have you been with loved ones sitting in the same room, but mentally you're elsewhere? Your mind is racing with thoughts of tomorrow, with what you need to do next, with what you haven't accomplished yet. In those moments, we're physically present, but emotionally and mentally absent. We forget to really listen, to truly connect, to be fully immersed in the beauty of the moment. The people around us, the moments that matter most, are slipping through our fingers because we're too caught up in the future or the past. Being present isn't just about physically showing up, it's about being fully engaged in the moment, feeling every emotion, every sensation, every experience as it happens. It's about pausing long enough to notice the small things, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter filling the air, the feeling of gratitude for just being alive. Life is made of these little moments. It's not the big events or the distant dreams that make life rich. It's the present, the here and now, that holds the magic. In a world that often values strength in terms of power, control, and success, it's easy to overlook one of the greatest forces we have, the power of kindness. We often associate strength with toughness, with being unyielding, with standing firm in the face of adversity. But kindness is a form of strength that can move mountains. It's a force that transcends barriers, that brings people together, and that has the power to heal, not just others, but ourselves as well. Kindness is not about being weak or passive. It's not about giving in or letting others take advantage of you. True kindness comes from a place of strength, from a place of confidence and self-assurance. It takes courage to be kind in a world that often feels divided, a world that sometimes values competition over compassion. But it's in those moments of choosing kindness, especially when it's not the easy path, that we demonstrate the deepest form of strength. Think about the impact a small act of kindness can have. A simple word of encouragement, a smile to someone who's having a tough day, a helping hand when it's least expected. These acts may seem small in the moment, but they have the power to change someone's entire day or even their life. And the ripple effect that kindness can create is truly remarkable. One act of kindness can inspire others to pay it forward, creating a wave of positivity and compassion that spreads far beyond what we can see. But kindness is not just something we give to others, it's something we need to give to ourselves as well. How many times do we criticize ourselves, beat ourselves up over mistakes, or hold ourselves to impossible standards? Kindness means extending that same compassion we show to others to ourselves. It means recognizing that we too deserve the same care, understanding, and patience. When we learn to be kind to ourselves, we unlock a deeper sense of strength, one that allows us to keep going, even in the face of our own doubts and insecurities. And kindness has a way of changing us. It shifts our perspective. It helps us see the world through the eyes of empathy and understanding. It opens our hearts to the struggles of others and reminds us that we're all in this together. It's easy to get caught up in our own challenges, but when we choose to lift someone else up, when we show compassion to someone who needs it, we not. In a world that is constantly focused on outcomes, on reaching the next milestone or achieving the next goal, it's easy to forget that life is not just about the destination, it's about the journey. We spend so much time measuring success by the end result, by where we're supposed to be, by how far we've come, that we often miss the beauty of what happens along the way. The truth is, life isn't something to be rushed through. It's something to be experienced, savored, and lived every step of the way. We all have dreams, we all have goals, and that's a beautiful thing, but when we place all of our focus on the finish line, we run the risk of missing the experiences, the lessons, and the growth that come with every step along the journey. The destination is important, but it's the journey that shapes us, that teaches us, and that truly transforms us. It's in the struggle, the challenges, the successes, and even the failures that we find who we really are. Think about a time in your life when you were so focused on getting to a specific point. Maybe it was a career goal, a personal achievement, or a dream you've had for years. Along the way, you probably faced obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. And in those moments, it might have felt like everything was moving in slow motion, or like you were never going to get to where you wanted to be. The truth is, the destination will come and go, but the journey, the moments you experience, the person you become, the growth you undergo, those are the things that truly last. So as you move through life, don't rush. Don't focus solely on the end goal. Instead, embrace each step, every twist, every turn, every high and low, because that's where the real magic lies. The journey is where you discover your strength, your purpose, and your capacity for greatness. And when you look back, it won't just be the destination that defines you, it will be the path you took to get there. So live it fully, live it intentionally, and remember that the journey is where life is truly happening.